The Bike by Gary Soto, Grade 7 Midterm Examination. My bike got me nowhere, though the shadow I cast as I pedaled raced along my side. The leaves of bird-filled trees stirred a warm breeze, and litter scuttered out of the way. Our orange cats looked on from the fence, their tails up like antennas. I opened my mouth, and wind tickled the back of my throat. When I squinted, I could see past the ends of the block. My hair flicked like black fire, and I thought I was pretty cool riding up and down the block, age 5, in my brother's hand-me-down shirt. Going up and down the block was one thing, but taking the first curve out of sight of Mom and the house was another. I was scared of riding on Sarah Street. Mom said hungry dogs lived on that street, and red anger lived in their eyes. Their throats were hard with extra bones from biting kids on bikes, she said. But I took the corner anyway. I didn't believe Mom. Once she had said that pointing at rainbows caused But I took the corner anyway. I didn't believe Mom. Once she had said that pointing at rainbows caused freckles. And after a rain had moved in and drenched the streets, after the sparrows flitted onto the lawn, a rainbow washed over the junkyard and reached the dark barrels of Coleman pickle. I stood at the window looking out, amazed and devious, and with the devilish horns of my butch haircut standing up. But behind the window, I let my finger slowly uncurl like a beach plant rising from earth. I uncurled it, then curled it back and made a fist. I should remember this day, I told myself. I pedaled my squeaky bike around the curve onto Sarah Street, but returned immediately. I braked and looked back at where I had gone. My face was hot, my hair sweaty, but nothing scary seemed to happen. The street had looked like our street: parked cars, tall trees, a sprinkler hissing on a lawn, and an old woman bending over her garden. I started again, and again I rode the curve, my eyes open as wide as they could go. After a few circle eights, I returned to our street. There ain't no dogs, I told myself. I began to think that maybe this was like one of those false rainbow warnings. I turned my bike around and rode a few times in front of our house, just in case Mom was looking for me. I called out, "Hi, Mom, I haven't gone anywhere." I saw her face in the window, curlers piled high, and she waved a dish towel at me. I waved back, and when she disappeared, I again tore my bike around the curve onto Sarah Street. I was free. The wind flicked my hair and cooled my ears. I did figure eights, rode up the curbs and onto lawns, bumped into trees, and rode over a garden hose 100 times because I liked the way the water sprang up from the sprinkler after the pressure of my tires. I stopped when I saw a kid my age come down a porch. His machinery for getting around was a tricycle. Big baby, I thought, and said, You can run over my leg with your trike if you want." I lay down on the sidewalk, and the kid, with his fingers in his mouth, said okay. He backed up slowly like a tank, advanced. I folded my arms behind my head and watched a jay swoop by with what looked like a cracker in its beak. When the tire climbed over my ankle and sparks of pain cut through my skin, I sat up quickly, my eyes flinging tears like a sprinkler. The boy asked, "Did it hurt?" "No," I said, almost crying. The kid could see that it did. He could see my face strain to hold back a sob, 2 tears dropping like dimes into the dust. He pedaled away on his bucket of bolts and tossed it on his front lawn. He looked back before climbing the stairs and disappeared into the house. Question 1, Part A. Which sentence best states a central idea of the passage? The narrator pretends to listen to the warnings from his parents. The narrator thinks that riding a bike seems more grown up than riding a trike. The narrator discovers that adventures away from home can be dangerous. The narrator uses his bike to gain a sense of independence. Part B. Which two details from the passage support the answer to Part A? Going up and down the block was one thing, but taking the first curve out of sight of Mom and the house was another. Paragraph 2. Mom said hungry dogs lived on that street and red anger lived in their eyes. Paragraph 2. But I took the corner anyway. Paragraph 3. A rainbow washed over the junkyard and reached the dark barrels of Coleman pickle. Paragraph 3. From behind the window, I let my finger slowly uncurl like a bean plant. Paragraph 3. I should remember this day. Paragraph 3. Question 2, Part A. How does the mother's perspective about the neighboring street affect the narrator? He stays within his mother's view. He questions his mother's concerns. He desires a better bicycle that will go faster. He becomes dependent on his mother. Which two details support the answer to Part A? My first bike got me nowhere, though the shadow I cast as I pedaled raced along my side. Paragraph 1. I didn't believe my mom. Paragraph 3. I braked and looked back at where I had gone. Paragraph 4. After a few circle 8s, I returned to our street. Paragraph 4. I began to think that maybe this was like one of those false rainbow warnings. Paragraph 4. I saw her face in the window, curlers piled high, and she waved a dish towel at me. Paragraph 5. Question 3, Part A. What is the theme of the passage? A feeling of independence is difficult to achieve. Revenge can be satisfying. Overconfidence can lead to unexpected results. Freedom is a personal choice. Which detail?
Attention, please, teachers, please pardon this interruption. Mr. Carlos, Mrs. Casada Petrano, and Mrs. Rivas are absent today. There is no coverage. Thank you.
Which detail from the passage best supports the theme from Part A? I thought I was pretty cool riding up and down the block, age 5, in my brother's hand-me-down shirt. I was scared of riding on Sour Street. Mom said hungry dogs lived on that street. I liked the way the water sprang up from the sprinkler. Big baby, I thought, and said, you can run over my leg with your trike if you want. Question 4. Which detail uses figurative language to express the narrator's pain? My hair flicked like black fire. Red anger lived in their eyes. The devilish horns of my butch haircut. My eyes flinging tears like a sprinkler. In which detail does the author also use figurative language to express the author's pain? When I squinted, I could see. Looking out, amazed and devious. I let my fingers slowly uncurl like a bean plant rising from the earth. 2 tears dropping like dimes into the dust. Question 5. What does the tour in paragraph 5 suggest? Unsteady balance, reckless speed, screeching sounds, something breaking. Use 2 details from the passage to support the answer in part A. I haven't gone anywhere. I was free. The wind flicked my hair. I liked the way the water sprang up from the sprinkler after the pressure of my tires. You can run over my leg with your trike if you want. I folded my arms behind my head and watched a jay. Paragraph question 6, scroll to the bottom. Use what you learned from reading The Bike to analyze how the author's use of figurative language and imagery impact the story. Be sure to use text evidence and examples to support your answer. How does the author use figurative language and imagery? Find examples in the text. Passage 2. How to fix school lunches. Celebrity chefs, politicians, and concerned parents are joining forces to improve the meals kids eat today. For Jorge Collazo, executive chef for the New York City Public Schools, coming up with the perfect jerk sauce is yet another step toward making the 1.1 million school kids he serves healthier. In a little more than a year, he's introduced salad bars and replaced whole milk with skim. Beef patties are now served on whole wheat buns. Until recently, every piece of chicken the manufacturer sent us was either breaded or covered in glaze, said Collazo, brandishing the might of his $125 million annual food budget. He switched to plain cutlets and asked suppliers to come up with something healthy and appealing to put on top. Collazo tastes the latest offering. The jerk sauce isn't overly processed and doesn't have trans fats. Too salty, he says with a grimace. Within minutes, the supplier is hard at work on a lower sodium version. A cramped public school test kitchen might seem an unlikely outpost for food evolution, but Collazo and scores of others across the country, celebrity chefs and lunch ladies, district superintendents and politicians, say they're determined to improve what kids eat in school. Nearly everyone agrees something must be done. Most school cafeterias are staffed by poorly trained, badly equipped workers who churn out 4.8 billion hot lunches a year. Often the meals, produced for about $1 each, consist of breaded meat patties, French fries, and overcooked vegetables. The kids buy muffins, cookies, and ice cream instead, or they feast on fast food from McDonald's, Pizza Hut, and Taco Bell, which is available in more than half the schools in the nation. Vending machines packed with sodas and candy line the hallways. We're killing our kids with the food we serve, says Texas Education Commissioner Susan Combs. As rates of childhood obesity and diabetes skyrocket, public health officials say schools need to change the way kids eat. It won't be easy. Some kids and their parents don't know better. Home cooking is becoming a forgotten art, and fast food companies now spend $3 billion a year on television ads aimed at children. Along with reading and writing, schools need to teach kids what to eat to stay healthy, says culinary innovator Alice Waters, who is introducing gardening and fresh produce to 16 schools in California. It's a golden opportunity, she says, to affect the way children eat for the rest of their lives. Last year, star English chef Jamie Oliver took over a school cafeteria in a working-class suburb of London. A documentary about his work shamed British government into spending $500 million to revamp the nation's school food program. Oliver says it's the United States' turn now. If you could put a man on the moon, he says, you can give the kids the food they need to make them lighter, fitter, and live longer. Changing school food takes time. More than a decade ago, when local restaurateur Lynn Walters lobbied school board members in Santa Fe, New Mexico, to provide kids with healthy alternatives to soggy pizza, they refused. So Walters and parent volunteers began an in school cooking class, armed with an electric griddle and a bag of fresh produce. They taught fractions using measuring cups and discussed nutrition over bunches of kale while concocting such lunch alternatives as spinach fettuccine and black bean tostadas. The teachers loved it, and so did the kids. But getting the entrees on the school menu was another challenge. The school kitchens there, like many around the country, were equipped to reheat food, not to prepare it. I was passionate, but I was ignorant of the realities the school was facing, says Walters, who got a grant to buy knives so the school cooks could at least peel and chop fresh fruits and vegetables. Changing school food will take money too. Many school administrations are hooked on the easy cash, up to $75,000 annually, that soda and candy vending machines can bring in. 3 years ago, Gary Herzberg of Concord, New Hampshire, was appalled when his 13-year-old son described his daytime meal: pizza, chocolate milk, and a package of Skittles. I wasn't aware Skittles was a food group, says Herzberg, CEO of Stonyfield Farm, a yogurt company. So he devised a vending machine that stocks healthy snacks, yogurt smoothies, fruit leathers, and whole wheat pretzels. So far, 41 schools in California, Illinois, and Washington are using his machines, and 1,000 more have requested them. The schools don't make as much money. Kids spend about half as much on granola bars as they did on Fritos. But Herzberg says schools have to make good food a priority. Some states are trying. California, New York, and Texas have passed laws that limit junk food sold on school grounds. Districts in California, New Mexico, and Washington have begun buying produce from local farms. Las Vegas parent Terry Janison says real change can be incremental. After 3 years of lobbying, the cafeterias there now sell reduced fat muffins. The soda and candy in the vending machines has been replaced by juice and beef jerky. Doritos are banned and then replaced by baked Doritos. It's not perfect, says Janison, but it's a cause worth fighting for, even if she has to battle one chip at a time. How does paragraph 5 mostly contribute to the development of ideas in the article? They show how restaurants can get involved to improve school lunches. They show how easily students accepted healthy changes to school food. They use the Santa Fe School District as an example of how change happens gradually. They explain why Santa Fe School District did not serve fruits and vegetables. Question 8. If I can scroll down. Read this sentence from paragraph 4. As rates of childhood obesity and diabetes skyrocket, public health officials say schools need to change the way kids eat. Why should this information be included in a summary of the article? It predicts the consequences of current eating habits for students. It emphasizes the importance of healthy meal options for students. It suggests that schools are responsible for diseases related to eating. It highlights the role school administrators have in teaching healthy habits. Question 9. Read these sentences from paragraph 3. A cramped public school test kitchen might seem an unlikely outpost for a food revolution, but Collazo and scores of others across the country, celebrity chefs and lunch ladies, district superintendents and politicians.
All 35 classes will be in the gym this morning.
Sorry for the interruption. Say they're determined to improve what kids eat in school. What central idea is supported by these sentences? It's not easy to make changes in school lunch programs. Public schools have become test kitchens for improving the American diet. Many people have been seeking to improve nutritional value of school lunches. Educating students about nutrition can improve their health for the rest of their lives. Question number 10. According to paragraph 6, why is cost a factor in changing school food? Schools receive income from the sale of popular but unhealthy vending machine snacks. Schools across the country have to buy new vending machines to sell healthy snacks. Students have less money to buy healthy snacks from vending machines. New vending machines stock healthy but expensive snacks. Question 11. Read the lines from paragraph 4. As the rate of childhood obesity and diabetes skyrocket, public health officials say schools need to change the way kids eat. It won't be easy. Some kids and their parents don't know better. Home cooking is becoming a forgotten art.
Mr. Lally, please report to the gym.
As fast food companies now spend $3 billion a year on television ads aimed at children, along with reading and writing, schools need to teach kids what to eat to stay healthy, says culinary innovator Alice Waters, who is introducing gardening and fresh produce to 16 schools in California. It's a golden opportunity, she says, to affect the way children eat for the rest of their lives. Based on these lines of the article, what is an obstacle to improving nutrition outside of school? Families do not make time to cook meals at home. Kids enjoy watching ads for fast food. Health officials hinder meal planning by parents. Kids do not know how to grow fresh produce. And question 12. In the article, How to Fix School Lunches, the author claims that school lunches are a major contribution to childhood obesity. Schools make an effort to provide a balanced nutritional menu. In your opinion, who is to blame for childhood obesity? Compose an argument essay. Use details from the text. Your experience with school lunches and what you eat outside of school to support your claim. So, who is to blame for childhood obesity? School lunches or families with poor meal planning?